Welcome to class, everyone. This is Don't Worry, Knee Happy Day. So we're going to focus on some knees. I am both our knees so that I am sitting right briefly. We're going to be in reclined. We won't be covering a lot of seated poses today, but I'll give a few tips and tricks that will help you in seated positions. And let's just take a reclined position right away. So come to lie on your mat, and if you have a wool blanket handy, place it under your knees when you lie down. You'll probably use a block later and a strap pretty soon. If you don't have these props, you can always improvise and still join us, no problem. But if you want to roll that blanket to about this height, place that under your knees. And just start to recline using your hands and your elbows to help you down. Ease that spine down as we come into alignment, skull to sacrum. So back of the skull to the bottom of the spine, straighten out the legs. Just notice that support over the knees, front of the knees, the back of the knees. And then lie down and begin to settle in to your practice. We normally do this opener in a seated position, but let's try and recline to come into focus on the full body alignment here. You can drape the right arm next to the body, the left arm, and then the palms up towards the sky, which allows the shoulders to drop towards the earth and opening the collarbones wider in that horizontal plane. Inhale and exhale and begin to notice your breath, and you can close the eyes to cut out visual distractions. Begin by observing the breath. As we begin our new year, notice our new breath. So each breath is new. That inhale, inviting in fresh energy, setting an intention for your practice today, maybe for your year as well. Think of that intention 3 times, just to seal it in. As you continue an easy inflow and outflow of breath. Focus on a breath that's cascading the energy as you inhale through the nose, cascades down the spine, that inhale all the way to the base of the spine. Then as you exhale, feel that breath traveling up the spine. And then inhaling again, adding that sense of freshness to the spine, a cascade of energy down each vertebra, all the way down to the tailbone. And each exhale, traveling up that spine, adding attention and fluidity to that entire spinal column, all the way up the crown of the head. Celebrate the breath. Celebrate renewal. Another cascading breath. Noticing again the breath, and the exhale allows the body to release a little bit more to the earth, so feeling that back body connect. Feeling the points of contact of the body on the earth. And since we have a knee-focused practice, let's bring that attention to the knees. As you inhale, send a sense of that cascade all the way down to the knees on the end of the inhale. And then on the exhale, release what tension you don't need. Your next inhale, send that energy all the way down to the feet, to the toes, and then back up the legs, past those knees, past up the spine, past the pelvis. So really Utilize that breath to oxygenate, to send fluidity to your joints. And then exhale. Release the tension, any pain that you experience on a regular basis. Try to relieve it just with that intention and release. On your next inhale, let's take the arms, move them up next to the ears. So lengthen out the arms and feel that lengthening of your side bodies. Reach on your left side, extra, like you're reaching up towards horizontally to pick a piece of fruit. On the left side, and exhale back down, and try the right side, reach the arm. And hand up through the fingertips, and come back down one more time, left. Lengthening. And then right. So the knees, our knees are so amazing, and they add fluidity to our movement automatically just by their mechanical existence on connecting the upper leg and the lower leg. But today we'll try to add core to that, as well as activating our quads. So those quads are super important to keep the knees aligned. Super duper important. So let's bend the knees and take the soles of the feet to the floor. And then we're going to use the strap. So if you have anything like a belt on a robe or a dog leash, anything like that, you can use, or just use your hand on the back of the thigh. So the reason we're stretching our legs first is just because it will help with the tracking of the knees, which is a very important alignment issue. And we're starting with the hips, because the hips and the knees have that connection, that immediate connection and alignment. So we want to make sure we open up the hips to allow the knees to be nice and healthy. Inhale the right knee towards the chest, and instead of going into full flexion, just hold the back of the thigh instead of holding the shin, and just hug that thigh towards your chest. It's the right knee. Continue that beautiful cascade of breath all the way into the pelvis, particularly paying attention to the right hip socket. Exhale. Just feel that release. One more inhale and exhale. And then take the strap around the ball of the right foot. And just give your right foot a little massage there. You can even take the sides of the strap and pull alongside the whole surface of the foot, because the feet, back to our knee connection, feet pressure and knees, very important relationship. So let's give that bottom of the foot some attention. And then take the strap to the ball of the foot and straighten out the right leg up towards the sky and hold both sides of the strap. Take that leg to a diagonal if that's more comfortable. As we straighten the leg, we don't want to hyperextend. So that would be hyperextending the knee, which means you're bringing the back of the knee too far into that hyperextension. So you want to keep that knee. When I say micro bend, it's just a sense of that you may notice a teeny tiny millimeter of bend in your knee, but no one else would see it. It's just a healthy alignment. So when I say micro bend in other classes, that's what I mean. And then reach the heel towards the sky. And then exhale as you bend the knee, bring it towards the right armpit. Again, hold the back of the thigh if you don't have that strap. And then exhale, bring it up towards the sky. Lubricating first the hips in today's practice. Exhale, reach towards the sky. And then bend the knee towards the armpit. And then straighten it up. Noticing the stretch along the hamstrings, of course, another part of our knee alignment and ease. Exhale, let's take the knee towards the armpit again and take both sides of the strap with the right hand. So we're coming into a half happy feet. And as you do this, notice that the thigh will drop towards the ribs. Exhale. Inhale and begin to notice the bottom of your spine, the sacrum. And then the sacrum is going to be placed on the mat, imprinted on the mat. And as you do that, notice that your hips want to come into a more horizontal alignment rather than lifting up towards the shoulder, but they actually just ease into alignment a little more simply with awareness on your sacrum. Exhale, notice the release of the thigh towards the ribs. So we're gonna have happy baby here. Full happy baby with both legs up. Paying attention particularly to this right side right now. And then exhale, straighten the leg up towards the sky again. And we're gonna get into another hamstring here as we slide the right heel towards the left hip. Hold on to the strap, both sides of the strap, and just guide that toe knee alignment to the middle two toes and the knee. Just look at that and notice that alignment. Pay attention to that alignment. It comes into practice quite often. Inhale as you exhale, drop those shoulders away from the ears, ease the face. And then come back to neutral. Take the strap into the right hand, both sides, and then open up to your right. So we're going to take the right leg over to the right. And if you, in my case, have come into contact with the couch, or you just reach through, and you don't have to bring it to the ground. You're just reaching through to the side, opening up the adductor, which is another important alignment with our knee. Inside of the thigh. Inhale, contact that sacrum. Exhale, see if you can drop the left knee out to the side. To do this safely, you're going to align that knee with the middle two toes and take the side of the foot to the floor. So no putting the sole of the foot on the floor and then flopping the knee out, but follow it with the toes. Another safe alignment. Inhale as you expand. Exhale as you feel that release of the contact with the earth, of the release of tension. Again, micro bending that right knee. One more inhale and exhale, cascading the breath. And then bring the left knee up, place that sole of the foot on the floor, guide the right foot up towards the sky. Great. Bend the knee, release. We'll take the other side. So sole of that right foot comes to the floor. Inhale, the left knee, hold the back of the thigh this time. And just give it a hug. Great. And then take the strap around the ball of the foot. And then reach that left leg up towards the sky, spread the toes, and then, bend the knee a little bit and give that bottom of the foot. So we're noticing the parts of the foot. We've got our big toe mound, our little toe mound, as we do a towel dry there on the foot surface, little acupressure, noticing the ball of the big toe mound, the little toe mound, the inner heel and the outer heel. Take the strap to the ball of the foot and then straighten the leg up. Inhale, reach that heel towards the sky or to a diagonal. And then as you exhale, see if you can place that femur bone, the top of the upper leg, into the hip socket. Drop it in. Allow the gravity to drop it into place, just like a tree is connecting with the earth, rooting down. So root down through that left hip. And then straighten the leg towards that left armpit. Inhale as you come down. Exhale as you reach the heel towards the sky. A few times here. So as you do this, notice the tracking of your knee between those two toes again. If it's wobbling off to either side, let's try to remedy that and keep it aligned. And then exhale, bring the knee towards the armpit, hold the strap in that left hand, or hold the back of the thigh, happy baby, half happy baby. full happiness, half happy baby. And then we'll take our inhale to send that energy to the sacrum, bottom of the spine. Find it on the mat, find that contact, and then exhale, anchor down through that left thigh. Energy to the left hip socket, cascading a sense of fluidity in that direction as you inhale. And exhale, a release of any tension. Any pinching here or pain, you should just go a little bit higher and don't push it over effort here. And then we'll take the right leg. Oh, sorry, I'm wrong. We'll take the left leg and reach it towards the sky and straighten it out. Beautiful. Now let's guide that left heel over towards the right hip. Using your strap to keep that knee and foot aligned. So the two middle toes and the knee. More reminders here as we enter our movement practice. Drop into your left hip and the sacrum. As you do this, your hamstrings will wake up. Drop the shoulders away from the sky if they've started to reach up that direction. Inhale and guide your left foot out to the side. Exhale. And hold on to that strap, pressing the ball of the foot into the strap to keep, again, middle toes towards knee. And then if you want to drop your right knee out to the side, take the side of the right foot. Little toes meet that knee in a nice long line. Feel the adductors stretching and opening. Inhale, expand in all directions. Exhale, release to the sacrum awareness. One more inhale and exhale. And then bring the right knee towards the sky, sole and foot to the floor. And bring that left leg up towards the sky again. Excellent. And then we'll release. Oh, great. Nice work. So we're going to come up to a seated position now. Place that strap to the side, roll over onto your side, and then sit up. So the way that we're going to sit up today is briefly in a staff position. But we're going to have the roll blanket under the knees. I'm going to show it to the side. So I'm going to sit up, and if this seated position, so my legs are extended, but my blanket is underneath the knees. So that's where we're tracking our knees and being able to give them some attention, some kind attention. Now, if this is uncomfortable for you to be seated this with just the mat below you, you can take a cushion or another blanket and place it under those sits bones, because our anchor here would be the sits bones, and we want to make sure, rubbing the hands together and placing them on the lower back, there's a curve in that lower back, so you're not hunching forward as we look at our knees. But trying to stay straight up. You can even use your hands to help you up. If that hurts your lower back, lift yourself up again on another blanket or sit up on some blocks. So let's make sure you protect the back as well. So now our focus begins to come to the knees. So inhale, just grow tall through the crown of the head, and exhale, bring the gaze down to the knees. Great. So you'll notice your kneecaps. Those kneecaps are our lovely traction so that we can have so much flexibility with our knees to bend and straighten. And right now, we're going to bring the awareness to the quads. So just let's just rub the sides of the knees, both sides, just so that you bring some love to the knees. Sides of the knees, around the kneecap. And then take it to the other side, rub the sides of the knees, around the kneecap. Just that palpation is enough to give it love and attention, add healing energy, right? Great. Now bring those hands to the inside of your thigh. So just above the kneecap, but on the internal side of the kneecap, and then come up about an inch. And you'll notice there's a muscle there. That's the vastus medialis. So we have two Quadriceps, we have 4, but we have these 2 that are on the outer and inner sides of the knee. And we want to they're really helpful in tracking the knee in a direction that's going towards the hips and towards those middle 2 toes. There's one of them, vastus medialis, that you may have your hands on right now, that often becomes underutilized. It doesn't just naturally get strengthened through walking or anything. We have to pay attention. And during yoga, we can really strengthen that. And it's actually really good for the knees, as long as we keep it engaged. So to engage it, let's just take that right foot and take the toes out to a 1 o'clock position on an old-fashioned clock. Great. And then begin to lift your heel off the floor and straighten your leg. So as you straighten your leg, your fingers on that right side might feel that vastus medialis engage. And then place the foot down again. And then put the toes up into back to noon position. And then bend and straighten the leg, extend. So it lifts off the mat. Continue a nice easy breath. And just notice that fire up that inner quadricep medialis, right? And then try the other side. So take those toes out just to about, I guess it would be 11 o'clock. Hold on to that part that I was saying on the inside of the kneecap and just above it. And then lift your heel off the floor. Let's feel that. Engage, maybe a little less or more, and then bring the heel down, and then bring the foot to noon, and then straighten the leg. And you can feel that fire up. Now take your hands to both sides of the quads. So like if you take your thumb to the internal quad, that vastus medialis, and the vastus lateralis is on the other side. So just so you can see where my hands are here, my fingers. And then we're going to lift the heels both off the floor, and then notice them fire up. And as you fire them up, see if one feels stronger than the other, one side of the knee feels stronger than the other. Great. And then now just bring the heels down to the mat. And now fire up your quads, and just like they were, but we're just going to fire them up without lifting the heels off the floor. And look at your kneecaps. So notice that affects the kneecaps when you fire up those muscles. And our goal is to fire up both of those sides equally, so that the kneecap has a nice even tracking in that vertical direction when you fire them up. And sometimes that can be uneven on many people. So we're going to try to, yoga really tries to remedy that by some of our poses. I hope that helped, just get an awareness. And now we're going to take ourselves to all fours, and I'm going to show you a trick with all fours that's safer for your knees. So let's come into a prep for cat-cow. What we're going to do is unroll that blanket or towel, whatever it is. And you're going to take it to about 3/4 of the way down the mat. And now you've got it about an inch or 2 thick. And you know how I do say cushion your knees when we do all fours and cat-cow? I've done that before, but this time we're learning a new trick here. So we're going to come to the shins are going to come. Hopefully this mic is still working okay with this position. It's a little tricky lately. So we're going to take the shins to the blanket and allow the kneecaps to drape off of the blanket. So keep you're going to bring the wrists, hands down, wrists below the shoulders. Inhale and feel those, just feel contact with the shins. Exhale, allow the energy of those kneecaps to drop towards the floor. So they're not contacting anything. They're just draping towards the floor. There's no contact with the floor, so that you're more aware of those shins as your anchor in the back there. Hopefully you can feel that and notice that it lifts some pressure off your knees, and you micro adjust so you really feel that. And the tops of the feet are on the floor, on the blanket in this case. So from here, we want to take should be a more comfortable place for the knees, I hope. If not, you can just roll on your back and do some curls there. But we're going to inhale into a cat and cow. So just feel the back of the spine lift towards the sky. Really use that cascading breath, this time inhaling in an arc over that spine all the way down to that tailbone. Look at your knees. And then exhale, lift the tailbone up towards the sky and opposite arch. Look up at the end. Use your breath. Really use that sense of cascading fluidity from the crown of the head to the tailbone into this cat. Moving meditation. Contact with the shins. Feeling that ease off the knees. One more. Following your own personal breath there. Beautiful. Now coming to that neutral spine again. Just reminding yourself of this, and that anytime we're in this kind of all fours, you can use this little trick to keep those knees healthy and aligned. Great. So now we're going to grab that block if you have it. If you don't have it, you can just use the energy of awareness to your inner thighs. So the reason we're going to use the block today, come up to a high kneel if that's comfortable. We're going to take the block in between the thighs. So this is, we do this often, but I want to bring that extra awareness to when we squeeze the block or the energy of the thighs together, we are activating and firing up that vastus medialis, which gets ignored, and then what happens is the knee will go to the outside as you bend it. And you don't want the kneecap to go to the outside. You want to keep it tracking in that vertical plane. Magic. So let's use that block to activate it. So just come to that all fours again briefly here. Squeeze the block, and so that the knees are hip width apart. And we're going to come to the down dog. And you'll take the hands a little forward, pointing the index fingers up towards the top of the mat. And see if you can get past your blanket down there and curl the back toes under. And lift the knees off the mat. And bring the ribs to the thighs, bend knees. So take those feet and make sure that they're hip width apart. And as you're looking at them with your head hanging down, easing the neck, you're just seeing that they're hip width apart and that your knees are tracking over those heel to toes. So you can just take that awareness from here. I hope this mic is working in this position. And reach through the sits bones and push away from the hands. And remember last week we did our outward rotation of the upper arm and then the pressing down through the hands. You can do that. Or you can even take other alternatives that we talked about last week in down dog. And then see if those heels want to come towards the mat a little bit. As we stretch our hamstrings, we should be a little more facilitating this process. So reach away with those arms, lengthen the side bodies like we did lying down. Tap into the strength there, into the shoulders, the hips. Now, cascade up the spine. And exhale, allow that energy to cascade down from the tailbone down to the crown of the head, releasing tension. Inhale again. Send that energy from the crown of the head to the tailbone up. And exhale. Drop it out the crown of the head again. Bend the knees, ribs towards the thighs, and then walk the hands back to the feet. Bring the head down. Use this opportunity to move that blanket over to the side. And keep squeezing the block. Hang the head down. And sit the sits bones back as if you're sitting in a chair behind you. And hang the head down. And just look behind you. Look upside down. Really use the weight of your head to your advantage to traction that neck a little bit. Shake the head, yes and no. Say no to whatever you want to say no to. Say yes to whatever you want to say yes to. And then sweep those arms behind you, nice and long, fingertips towards the sky. And then we're going to sweep them down towards the floor. Touch the floor and bring them next to the ears. Nice long arms. Sit back. So right now, let's look at those knees and watch them tracking between the middle toes. And now come off the thighs with that rib cage as you squeeze the block. The crown of the head is reaching towards those fingertips. So we are doing a pose that is very good for the knees, that strengthens all of the support systems on the way to the knees, the quads, the glutes, the inner thighs, the outer thighs, all of it, and the core. Navel touches towards the spine a little bit. All four corners of the feet, and then press down, reach up towards the sky. Hold on to that block again, just reaching up towards side bodies, through the fingertips, and now drop the shoulders away from the ears as you reach up to the sky. Inhale. Exhale, swan dive the arms, swan dive the arms next to the body. So nice. Let's remove the block. Just get in the middle of the mat. Explore the feet and the corners of the feet. So the wide part of the mat next to you. Step down through your feet and just notice the footprints. So these are a very important base for our knees and for coming into the pose that we're going to workshop today. So the four corners of the feet, the big toe mound, the little toe mound, the inner part of your heel, just at that arch, and then the outer part of the heel. We've got a base there that can be super strong and rooted. And then keeping our knees, keeping our feet hip width apart and aligning them with the hips protects the knees. And normally, the human body has this thing where the hips can be wider than the knees, and then the feet, if they come together, you're kind of forming a triangle. And that can mess with the knee alignment. So just life adding to some knee pressure here. So if we stand hip width apart, we're beginning that process of alignment, right? And so now we've got our footprints. And now remember we were engaging the quads lying down, sitting down, and we were engaging them with that blanket underneath them. Let's try engaging them as well. You can take the hands to the thighs, just the top of the thighs, and then just squeeze the glutes, squeeze the quads. It's actually kind of challenging here to just isolate and engage them. And then bend the knees a little bit, just about a few inches. Bring the butt towards the floor and then come back up. Inhale. Exhale, bend and straighten. Just notice the engagement of the quads as you do that. Keep that sense of lifting through the thighs, lifting through the quads, engaging just a little micro squat there. And then come back up. And as you hold the hands, keep the hands to the thighs. Now, in that straight position where your knees and your heels are aligned and your hips, just see if you can activate and fire up those quads. In some case, they might feel pretty hard to activate and maybe they're weakened a little bit, but that's why we continue to do yoga and other stuff, because we want to strengthen them. So as you lift, you want that knee to track towards the hips. So important that cascade, a vertical cascade of that kneecap. Great. And then drop the shoulders away from the ears, hands next to the body, arms long, mountain pose. Step through the four corners of the feet. Big toe mound, little toe mound, inner heel, outer heel. Inhale the arms above the head. Bring it into prayer position. And then as we do sometimes seated, let's cascade that prayer position in front of the face, past the third eye, past the throat, down to the heart. Let's invite that renewed sense of energy through our inhale. Open up the arms. Inhale, invite it in, press together, come down through the heart. Coming back to your intentions. Renew energy, inhale, open up again, look up towards the sky, invite it in. Luxuriate in the breath. Let's open up to the sides, open up, arms to the sides, and come in for a hug. Left arm over right, Fingertips touch the back. Curl forward with your spine like we did in cat. And then come back, open up again. Inhale, look up towards the sky. Exhale, right over left. Give the hug. And a little curl there as well. Tucking down, looking down. And then drop the arms next to the body. Allow the weight of the hands to, as if you had a weight in the hands, drop them next to the body. Inhale, the crown of the head towards the sky. Exhale, soften your right ear towards your right shoulder, feeling the weight of your left hand, balancing that other side. Soften, just getting some fluidity into that neck. Soften the ear towards the shoulder on the right side. And then take the right hand to the right ear, lift up. Breathe through the crown of the head, exhale. Left ear toward left shoulder, really weighted in your right hand. Imagine a weight there. Nice. Left hand to left ear, bring it up. Look over your right shoulder. Look over your left. Bring some sense of that cascading energy into the neck joints, into that neck connections there, right and left again. So we know we don't ignore our neck today. Come back, look up towards the sky. Use that heart energy up there too. And exhale, bring the chin into looking down at your heart in between the collarbones, standing strong through the feet, making sure those knees are micro bent. And then look up. And then we'll take the feet wide apart. And this is where we're going to workshop our warrior stance. Just so good for the knees if we do it correctly. So let's take the right feet up, right toes out to the side, and the left foot angled about 30 degrees. Front heel aligned with back arch. Okay, so we've opened up our hips, so should be nice and ready for this open hip pose. So we're going to begin to take your hands to the hips and just feel that tracking. So you're going to have your hip is connected to the knee, and then the knee is connected to that heel. Inhale, crown of the head tall. Exhale, drop the tailbone like we always do towards the floor as you bend the right knee. Now, gaze down at the knee so you can get that sense of tracking towards the middle two toes, and use your back foot to adjust yourself so that you can bring your thigh closer to parallel to the floor, 90 degrees with the shin. If you can't get all the way there, or if you want to hold on to something while you do that, that's fine. But feel as if you have something in your right hip pocket or hanging on your right hip that's bringing that weight down. Take your right hand to the right thigh and just take the fingertips to the outer part of the thigh and press the skin away. So away from to the outside, to the right side of the body, and press down gently. So you're just getting a sense of that alignment that we want, then ideally the knee and the hip to be in line. Of course, this really activates the muscles, and if you want to come up, that's okay. But that sense of weight through the hip. Now we're going to look at that knee again. Keep it, take the hand to those outer side of the knee and the inner side of the knee, and just feel those muscles engage. And then you've got your heel and your big toe mound. Now press those into the mat. Press those into the mat, nice and strong. And make sure that that knee is tracking. Now we're going to straighten the leg. Inhale up. Just ease off of that a bit. Take the hands to the hips and then look forward. And now use that same sense of your knee tracking, but you don't have to look at it. Inhale, keep the crown of the head tall. Exhale, bend the knee towards those middle two toes. Just using your hands on the top of the thighs to guide you. Now look over. What's happening there? So in my case, I'm noticing that the inside of my knee is coming towards the inside, a little bit towards my foot, towards the inner foot. So that's the time to activate the big toe mound and the inner heel and see if you can straighten things out a bit. Great. Come back to the gaze forward. Now we're going to take our proud warrior arms, inhale them out to the side, and look over the right fingertips. Exhale, ground through the feet, big toe mound, inner heel. Exhale, straighten the leg. Take the hands to the upper thighs and then bring the toes into parallel. Let's change it to the other side. So bringing those toes on the left to the side, angle the right foot 30 degrees. Front heel, back arch. And we're going to watch our knee. So drop the tailbone as we always do, bending the left knee towards the middle two toes. Use your back foot to bring you down further if that's possible. Take the hand to the thigh, left thigh, and feel that the fingertips to the outside and just allowing the skin, actually encouraging the skin to spiral outward towards the left. And noticing the knee, is it wobbling? That's okay. You can come out of this a little bit and lift up, but try to keep that tracking. Again, if you have any pain along this process, you need to lift up more and don't go so deeply into it. I don't want any pain for anyone here. We're just trying to practice healthy alignment. So back to that big toe mound and inner heel. Watch that as you press into that affects the knee. Bring the gaze up forward and straighten that left leg. Hands to the top of the thighs, crown of the head tall. Exhale, come back into proud warrior. And now just take a glance at the knee. Yeah, maybe it started to go towards the inside again or the outside. See if you can bring it back. And then bring the gaze forward again, arms out to the side. Nice and grounded through our well-aligned warrior, and then look over the left fingertips. Having a warrior, you've got to have a foundation of strength, right? So let's make that happen. Supporting our skeleton. Inhale. Exhale, bring the gaze forward, hands to the hips, straighten out the leg. And then bring our toes to parallel again. Beautiful. So let's try that again at your own pace to the other side. Right toes out. Just, I've given you a lot of cues. So just take your easing into this pose as fluidly as possible on your own pace, right and left. Softening your gaze. Non-judging, just noticing. Back forward. Toes forward, and we're going to heel toe. Again, as you do this heel toe, keep that knee aligned with the toes so that you're not compromising that alignment. Take it slow. If you have a block available, grab that block. Place it on the floor. Then we're going to do a modified tree pose. So the left foot is down on the mat. And well, let's step over them. So just stand with the block between the feet. Beautiful. And then we're going to take the weight into the left foot. So left foot, and then begin to bring the right foot up onto the block and kickstand. So your toes are, curl the toes under, and the knee is forward. So begin to bend and straighten your left leg and feel the hand on the thigh. So bend and straighten. And This is a way of waking up and igniting our quads as we come into a balanced straight leg pose. So, that hyperextension, bad idea, which is bringing the back of the knee away from the back towards the back of the body, that would be too much. Just keep it in that nice engaged quads. So now straighten the leg. Great. And then fire up your glutes and lift the right knee up towards the sky into a right angle. And then bring the toes, curl them back under around that block. If you don't have a block, you can just do a regular tree, which is to kickstand at the bottom, or just kickstand, hold your bottom of the foot to the side of the leg on the left. And we're going to take that right knee out to the side and just in this block, with using the block support, we're just taking a nice awareness of the knee and the middle two toes on the right side as we open it out to the side and that right hip opens out. Inhale, the arms up towards the sky. Press the palms together again. Bring that awareness into the center as we exhale that prayer position down towards the heart. And here in our supported tree, just feeling that awareness and alignment of our heel, our knee, toe mounds, the hips and the glutes, all supporting that hinge of the knee. Press the hands together, shoulders fall away from the ears, nice tall trees. Inhale, cascade the energy down that trunk of the tree. Exhale, release the arms, and then take that right foot around the other side of the block. Take the weight into the right foot, and then kickstand your left toes onto the block. Take the knee forward and bend and straighten the right leg. Take the hand to the thigh. Just noticing as you bend the knee towards the middle two toes, that those support muscles fire up. And then stand micro bend, straight knee, and then fire up the quads. Right tower, nice and tall, and then release your left knee towards the sky into a right angle. Just noticing the strength that's engaged here. And then kickstand the foot again onto the block. Open up the left knee to the side. Check in with the alignment, middle two toes and knee. Supported tree. Inhale the arms up towards the sky. Prayer position. Use that exhale to release whatever you don't need. Bring it past the third eye, past the throat, down to the heart. Feel the support. All four corners of the foot. Quads engaged, lifted off the kneecap. So lifting the kneecap up towards the sky with those strong quads, strong glutes. Inhale. Exhale. The arms next to the body. Beautiful. Now come around the block. Just remove. We'll take that block and place it between the thighs as we come down to the mat. Bottom of the mat. And back to our nice strength. Another strengthener. Inhale. The arms next to the ears. Exhale. And now instead of sweeping down, we're just going to sit back in the chair while we keep that length to the spine. Notice that the knees are going to stay behind the toes and in between those middle two toes. Sit back. Skull and sacrum align. Engaging those abdominals. See if you can get longer through the spine this time. Breathing down the spine. Inhale, I cascade. Exhale, release what you don't need. And then sweep the arms out to the side and then come down into a forward bend, squeezing the block. Hang your head down. Any mental stress, release the mental stress. And then bend the knees, remove the block and bring yourself down to the mat, thighs down, sorry, shins down. And then ease yourself over so that we can bridge up. So we're going to ease ourselves down to the mat. Take the hands to the back of the thighs. So first take the soles of the feet to the floor, hands to the back of the thighs. Activate our core here as we guide ourselves back to the mat. Soles of the feet on the floor, knees aligned with the toes. Hold the back of the thighs and just walk down the back of the thighs as you roll down bone by bone to the mat, activating your core. And then the back of the head comes to the mat. Grab the block, and we're going to, again, keep those inner thighs and vastus medialis awake as we squeeze that block so that we allow a hip distance of the knees and the feet. Sacrum and skull line, back up skull line as we drape the arms next to the body. Inhale. Let's take the tailbone, curl up towards the sky. Nice wave action. Lift up into bridge. Another great knee strengthener. Let's ease ourselves down again. Snake back down. Let's do another alignment test here. Bring the heels so that they can touch the tips of your fingers. So see if you can drape the arms next to the body and then just find the back of the heels there. Often that alignment works for most people. Not everyone, but most people, to keep the knee aligned with the heel as we lift up again into bridge. Strengthening those quads, strengthening the glutes and the inner thighs. Keeping the gaze upward. Exhale, snake it back down. Let's try that again. This time reaching the arms up towards the sky in a hug and then ending up next to the ears. So you really feel the connection of your fingers reaching up and your knees, a nice long line. Use your feet, the four corners, to press through. Your exhale brings those arms up, and then release towards the floor. Beautiful. Now keep that block between your thighs and then the arms next to the body. And just lift the toes off the mat. And then come up off onto the heels. So as you do this, rock, letting go of the weight off the feet, lifting the balls of the foot off the floor, and then lift the heels off the floor. So notice as you release some of the energy, your lower abs want to support the alignment of the spine, keeping it steady, keeping the hips steady, keeping that curve of the lower back off of the mat and the back of the ribs nice and engaged on the mat. So what we're doing is playing with the idea of letting go of the weight off of the feet. Place the whole foot on the mat, all four corners, and press through the length of your arms into the mat. We're testing our lower abs here. So lift both feet, squeezing that block, lift both feet off the mat now, the whole foot, and then place it down. If this pinches your back at all, just going back to the lifting the balls of the feet and the heels, alternate. But you can also try this again. Inhale, lift both feet off the mat, squeeze the block, exhale down. So feel those very key abdominal muscles engage as you do this. Inhale, lift off the mat, hold it, and as you keep that alignment with the spine steady, exhale back down. And one more time. Exhale, even if it's just an inch or just a few times. Again, you don't want to strain your lower back, but you want to make sure that the abdominals encourage and support your alignment. Take that block and place it to the side. Lengthen out, reach the arms next to the ears. Cascade the breath through the fingertips, all the way down the arms and down the spine, down through the legs, past the knees to the toes. And then exhale, travel up the body. Sweep the arms next to the body and bend the knees. We're going to squeeze those knees together and roll over onto our left side. Sacrum and back of skull aligned in this horizontal position, palms together. Make sure we've got our alignment here, nice right angle with the thighs to body. Inhale, the right arm up to the sky, make a beautiful arc, tracing a line in the sky. And then bring the right hand down if you can, so that arms are reaching long into a T. Soft gaze up towards the sky. Notice the knees again. Bring them together. Don't push into this. Rather, keep that knee aligned with the hip. And the pelvis is nice and steady as we twist the mid and upper back. Let's close this again. Bring the right arm, right hand to the left. And then try it again. Inhale, that arc again, up into a twist. This time press through your left arm. See if you can lift the sternum up towards the sky. Again, back to those even knees. Maybe gaze over the right side. Your next inhale, trace that line again with your right hand. Bring it back. Now switch over to the other side. Roll over onto your right side and keep those knees together. Align the knees with the hips. Skull to sacrum. And then inhale the left arm to the sky. Arc position. T arms nice and wide. Keep those knees together. Gaze up towards the sky, nice and soft. Looking up at a beautiful sky, starry sky. Exhale, see if you can close that arc again. And then bring more fluidity into it this time. Cascade of breath, opening of the left arm to the sky, easing it over to the other side. Press through your right arm, lift the sternum up towards the sky. Knees back. Look over the left side. Gravity easing the back. The breath. Bringing ease into the spine and all of our joints. And then sweep that arm towards the sky, roll over onto your back. We'll take a brief Shavasana today. Straighten out the legs, flop the feet out to the side, open the palms to the sky. Cascade the breath again. 3 nice inhales and exhales. Crown of the head just to the all the way down to the toes. Exhale out. Crown of the head to the knees. Exhale, inhale goes all the way to the knees. And exhale, travels up the body again. Next inhale, down to the hips. Tailbone, root. Exhale, out the tension. Let your next inhale synthesize the practice, setting your intention again, easing out any tension. Exhale it out. And any mental stress leaves with your last exhale here of our practice. Roll over onto your right side. Use your hands to help yourself up to a seated position. Elevate the hands above the head into prayer, bringing down through the center, past our blessed third eye, throat energy, and then the heart. Thank you so much for joining me in this practice today. If you've been on YouTube, you could hit subscribe. Thank you so much. Namaste.